Welcome, everyone, to Sophia Unveiled, the fierce love of holy wisdom, where we're learning that holy wisdom never left this planet, that she is alive and well all around us, especially in our own hearts. As we embrace this truth, we become the sovereign, valiant leaders of this new time on earth. I'm your host, Kathy Forrest, founder of Celestial Forest Institute, and I am delighted to be here with my dear friend, Kathleen Nora Bauer. Welcome, Kathleen.
Kia ora, Kathy. Thank you for having me, and kia ora, everyone tuning in, and thank you for being here.
So, Kathleen is a quantum seamstress and shadow alchemist. She guides others into communion with their inner genius to unravel old imprints and reclaim the magic and power encoded in their DNA. Over the past 13 plus years, Kathleen has been a devoted apprentice of the universe. She infuses bioresonance frequency medicine, esoteric hypnotherapy, astrology, channeling, and ceremony into sacred offerings and teachings. As a Gene Keys guide, she leads deep immersions where shadows are honored as sacred thresholds and holds space for the underworld of the psyche to be witnessed through the eyes of compassion, reverence, and love. Kathleen is the creator of two global summits, the Cauldron of the Quantum Field and Metamorphosis, and is deeply passionate about amplifying the missions of visionaries and soulpreneurs through her platform, The Voice of the Star Weaver. And last but not least, Kathleen is a multi-galactic course manager for the Global School of Quantum Evolution, the revolutionary and consciousness accelerating donation-based platform created by Jocelyn Starfeather. So welcome, Kathleen. I'm so excited to have you here today. I love your topic, Return to Eden. We are the love story that the world has been waiting for. That just gives me chills, brings tears to my eyes when I say it. So, my dear, why do you believe that 2026 is the year that we hold the potential keys to return to Eden? This is so different from what I've heard, because there's a lot of gloom and doom out there and fearful energy, and this just sounds exquisite.
Oh, well, thank you, Kathy. Yes, there's so much doom and gloom, but and I guess this is really how this poignant this summit is in Sophia. The fierceness of Sophia is that she has our back. She has our back, and there is all this horrible stuff going on in the world right now. But if we can tap into the feminine and know that we are supported through her, by her, then this gives us the power. This gives us a tool, like this gives us a tapestry that we can tap into.
Mhm.
And so why is 2026 the return to Eden in my opinion and my belief, actually, in my wisdom? Because it's foretold by many prophecies that 2027 is a great time of transition for
Mhm.
humanity. It's evolution.
Mhm.
And so, as we are in this threshold year of 2026, what I have been shown actually through dreaming, specifically the 13 Holy Nights, which takes place between Christmas Eve and Epiphany, was that this year is actually holds as a threshold year, this year that is going to be the bridge between the old and something so new and fresh that none of us have any idea what next year is going to be. But I had these insights through the Gene Keys, actually, because the 13 Holy Nights, Richard Rudd of Gene Keys, took us through specific Gene Keys, which each hold a specific shadow gift and a city.
Mm.
He took us through each night of the Holy Nights through one of these specific Gene Keys. And what came through, what emerged through these 13 Holy Nights was four specific Gene Keys: the 36, the 36, the 6, the 11, and the 12. And those 4 gene keys make up what is known in human design as the incarnation cross of Eden. And I just found this so incredible. Now, the shadows of those 4 gene keys move from turbulence, conflict, obscurity, and vanity. So those are very real shadows that we can see playing out in our collective.
Mm-hmm.
We see it so clearly, and that's where the doom and gloom can become like a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
But from those shadows is the potential of the gift, and those gifts are humanity, of diplomacy, of idealism, and of discrimination. So even though we have this certain frequency band that is playing out right now, from this, there's also the potential to have those gifts. And then as we do the alchemy of the shadow within ourselves, so the way that we can work with returning to Eden, knowing that this is the incarnation cross of Eden, is by working with these shadows within ourselves. Like, where do we find that turbulence, that crisis energy, or where do we find conflict, and within ourselves, within relationships? Where where are we obscured and only seeing a certain portion of the world? Like, are we just focusing on just the news, or can we polish that window and come into the right side and the left side magic of both logic and that holy wisdom that you speak of, Kathy? And then vanity is, for the gene keys, vanity can be vanity, thinking yourself separate or above others, and aloofness, but can also mean a closed heart. So how can we kind of open our heart and become, not think of ourselves as separate, but how can we refine ourselves so that we can be the most beautiful, tuned instrument that we can possibly be? So this is what, and within those 13 holy nights of dreaming, as I was becoming so aware that this is an incarnation cross of Eden, I received the message that Eden is not outside of ourselves. It never was. It's within our power, within our very auric field, and that as we can work with these specific shadows of our own shadows, because we each within the gene keys we have our own golden path, and 11 plus specific shadows, gifts, and city, which is Sanskrit for divine realization, spiritual realization. We can work with those, but we can also work with these shadows on a collective level as well, because the shadows, gifts, and cities of the gene keys work through transits. They're very connected to the astrological transits.
Ah,
So this is why I believe 2026, we have the potential to return to Eden, and this is through reclaiming our power that is held within our own beautiful auric field.
ah, ah. You've just given us a map. You've given us the how to. Can you tell us? Before we go to the next question, I want you to say it again, which specific gene keys they are, the 4.
Yeah. So gene key 36,
Uh-huh.
gene key 6.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have the wisdom keeper of gene key 6 right here. Here she is.
Ah,
I'm going to bring in the wisdom keepers in a little bit, but yeah, this is the gene key 6, we will be working with as humanity, that diplomacy. And then gene key 11,
mm-hmm.
which the city is emanation. No, the
Mm-hmm.
city is light.
Mm-hmm.
And then gene key 12, and the city is purity. So I didn't actually speak to the city. So the city, the potential of that divine realization as we alchemize the shadow and then we surrender to the universe, the magic of the universe, is the 36 compassion. The 6 is peace. The 11 is light, and then the 12 is purity. So
Ah,
this is the potential for us as a
yes,
species.
right. And a path, a definite path that we can follow. Wow. So, what do you mean that we are the love story that the world's been waiting for? Hmm.
Well, this is also deeply connected to the Holy Nights because Christmas Eve, right? As we know, Christmas Eve goes through this beautiful love portal of Yeshua and
Mhm,
also Mary Magdalene. And so we are the love story we have been waiting for is deeply connected to that, the 13 Holy Nights and that experience that I was having through my dreamscapes, but also connected to Easter. So I was reading The Madonna's Secret by Sophie Strand, and
mhm,
this is kind of a told beautifully through the
mhm,
love story of Yeshua and Mary
mhm,
Magdalene. And
mhm,
so right before Easter, I was in my beautiful mediumship container with my mentor Nicole Costeras, and we went in to what is called the power. And I was sitting in the power, and I received the message that we are the love story of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. And I just found this so beautiful because within Sophie's book, she talks about Yeshua and Mary would make love and then they'd go back through, and all these flowers had blossomed from their love. And I was like, that is the potential, that is a marriage of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and what becomes possible within us when
mhm.
we can marry those two in that
Yeah.
sacred relationship,
Mhm,
then we can actually bloom flowers. We can bloom
mhm,
love wherever we go. You
mhm.
know, our
Yeah.
tears can bloom sunflowers.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
again just so connected to that Eden thread and what is possible for us when we tap into the love story of Yeshua and Mary and not how it got hijacked into something so distorted, which it's happened with Sophia and all the divine feminine and divine
Mhm.
masculine as well. That's like
Right.
really holding, that's what we're doing when we sit with the feminine is hold space for that sacred masculine who got hijacked as well.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow. Wow. This just gives me hope. I mean, you know, I always do my best to focus on the positive, and I've always said there's no reason it has to be catastrophic. We are supposed to change that. That's why we're here. But you just gave us the keys. Literally gave us the keys. That is just amazing. So, why is co-creation the way we step into fierce love?
Mm. Especially, this is a tangible example right now, Kathy, and that when we can be in co-creation, this is invites us into using our voice,
Mhm,
into stepping into visibility, even though it may terrify us. You
mhm,
know, it's a real thing, especially as women, to show up
mhm.
in these
It's,
spaces.
yeah.
But through co-creation, we hold each other, and through holding each other, this heals a sisterhood wound, and we can actually find the joy of co-creation, being in ceremony co-creation with each other rather than that like competitiveness. And this
Mhm,
is what's so needed because when women come together, it is the most powerful thing in the entire world. And that's why the patriarchy is trying to separate us for so long.
mhm,
So this co-creation of between women helps us create this nourishing spaces. And then this encourages our men to come in and then they can hold the space for us to do even more deeper work. And
mhm,
it just also just being in co-creation enables us to mirror and amplify the power that we see in each other as well. And because we all have down days and we all have fears and
mhm,
these shadows that kind of constrict us, but when another one can amplify our what they see in us, this is alchemy. This is how we alchemize as well, because we're held and mirrored from what other people see us, not what we've been kind of conditioned to see ourselves as. So this is like a fierce reclamation of, and this is how we heal the world as well as brother sisters coming together in that beautiful love collaboration
Mhm.
instead of like, this is mine, that's yours. This is how
Mhm.
we come into we.
Wow. Wow. So you have a special wisdom keeper that wished to represent this talk today. Please tell us about her and the gene keys, because some people out there, I know Richard's been around for a minute, but they may not know what the gene keys are. So,
Mm. Yes, so the Gene Keys is this incredible body of wisdom that was channeled into the world by Richard Rudd, but it's built upon I Ching, which is an ancient oracle elemental, oracle of ancient China.
mhm,
Within the Gene Keys is the human design system, and within that is the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, the chakra system. And then within all of this, as well as astrology. And
mhm,
so the gene keys is deeply connected to your birth data, just like astrology is. But there's many different ways that we can work with the gene keys on a personal level and a collective level through the three frequency bands of consciousness that are within the gene keys, and that is the shadow, the gift, and the city.
mhm,
So we, like I mentioned before, we have personal gene keys that are very connected to our path, our purpose, our vitality, our brand, our life's work, our prosperity. So we have these personal gene keys, but we all, I mean, we have these 64 archetypes within us.
mhm,
They're encoded within our DNA. So we have all of the 64, but just some of them are our strengths, and some of them are our things that we are here to specifically transmute in order to be of the greatest service. And then so Rosie Aronson,
mhm,
she, just like Richard, built upon his many years of working with Raruhu, who channeled in human design. Rosie took the gene keys and she created these 64 faces of awakening, which are these wisdom keepers, 64 wisdom keepers. We're just going to be working with the feminine wisdom keepers today, but there's just 64 glorious wisdom keepers that she channeled in from all walks of life. So they're absolutely beautiful. I love working with them. And so I got the message to let's pull a live wisdom keeper today
mhm.
and see who wishes to represent us in our Sophia fierceness. Oh my gosh.
Wow, there she is.
Oh,
Expansion. I love that. I love it.
oh, look at her in her multi-dimensional, multicolored,
Mhm,
like fierce mane.
mhm,
And you can see there's so Rosie just started how Rosie started with the Wisdom Keepers. She was going through her own um, kind of dark night of a soul in a little bit. She was so overwhelmed with what was going on in the world and
mhm.
anxious, and she just started doodling. She just started doodling within these faces, and then they emerge. So you can see
Wow.
there's so much detail
Mhm.
within them.
And they're beautiful and colorful. Wow. Wow. And I love that it's the expansion card. Wow.
Oh, I'm going to read a wisdom, but just
Mhm,
feeling into what expansion holds and coming back through back to the talk of return to Eden. Expansion is what happens when we can do this shadow alchemy work and be held in safe spaces or be able to look at ourselves with tenderness and compassion and start to sit with some of these wounds, then we enables us to open our hearts. And as we open our hearts, this enables our field to become even more expansive, and we are able to touch and inspire others. And even if it is only touching your pussycat, that is okay. Even that if that expansion of love, heart opening is to go and hug your tree, or it
mhm.
can ripple out into your families. But I just really feel the importance of working with these shadows on an individual and a collective level enables us to expand our
Yeah.
hearts. And that's what the world needs right now is love. And
Yes.
there's more love that we can expand into,
Mhm.
the better, because
Yes.
we need to be able to be in our power and our fierceness in order to wrap those who can't necessarily be in that right now because
Right.
of the conflict and the turbulence that is
Mhm.
going on within the world. So
I love that.
I'm going
Mm.
to read. I'm going to
Yes.
read her wisdoms because, yeah, the wisdoms, the stories that Rosie has channeled in, because these, in my experience, the wisdom keepers are living, breathing archetypes, and I've seen them magically play out in my life. But her gift to us, all us participating in this beautiful creation from your Cappy Forest. I bring the gift of expansion. There's something in your life that you've outgrown. It's time to move beyond your comfort zone. If you've been holding tightly to an opinion, identity, vision, or worldview, it's time to let go. If you've been trying to reject a part of your past or your life, assuming it has no gift for you, it is time to embrace it. Surrender your intellect and watch everything become more simple and efficient. The mind has trouble understanding how everything is always passing away and beginning again. But the truth is that synthesis is happening all of the time. You are forever becoming whole. In the end, all that matters is expansion through the heart.
Mm. Mm.
And her
Perfect.
her city, her highest emanation for us is superabundance.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful. That couldn't have been more perfect. Oh, honey, thank you. So you have a free gift for our listeners. Can you tell us about that? It's Venus and the Bees, an exploration of the Venus sequence spheres of the gene keys. So that is a lot of words that I don't know that our listeners are going to understand. We want you to share with us, please.
So this year, Richard Rudd, so I'm speaking about the gene keys, so you can actually go on your own exploration through courses, um, through your own golden path. And so we've in the first part of the year, we traveled through the activation sequence, and Richard and Team 64, these incredible guides, guest speakers, have taken us individually month by month
Mhm.
through our specific keys. So, for example, for me, that was the incarnation sequence of the Return to Eden, which is 36, 6, 11, and 12. And so now Richard Rudd, and it's open for another week. Richard Rudd is taking us through a 6-month journey through
Mm.
the Venus sequence. So each month we will go through personally by ourselves and with Richard and the team and the community through the spheres of our attraction sphere, which is our chemistry and
Mhm.
how we attract others through the frequency of the shadow or the gift potential. We'll go through the um, EQ, which is our emotional quotient from the ages of 0 to 7, our IQ 7 to 12, and then no, our spiritual quotient, which is 0 to 7, our emotional quotient from 7 to 12, and then we go into the IQ, and then we go into our core wound, which actually becomes our vocation. So it's this beautiful 6 month journey that we are going to do together through the Sage's Golden Path with Richard Rudd.
Mhm.
But what my free gift is today is my dear sister Stacey Dicker, PhD. She's a depth psychologist. We have led an adjunct group through the activation sequence,
Mhm.
and we'll be leading another one through the Venus sequence. And we just really felt called to call this group Venus and the Bees. But what I have for your free gift, long story short, is we have this gorgeous gathering called Gathering in the Field of Venus, which is just this gorgeous experiential time together where we are in the beauty. We sit in the beauty of Venus. We will go through, we'll talk and show you the specific spheres. So, but even if you do not come into the Venus sequence, you'll still get to like experience
Mhm.
that, oh, the yumminess of the bees and the beauty and the flowers and just this field that we get to co-create.
Mhm. Wow.
So,
Wow. You have just taken uh, my whole worldview to a different level. But
yay.
it's like, and you know, we can, it's like I said, I try to stay positive, but when I see things out there happening in the world, I'm just going to go pick up my Gene Keys book and read read the sequence, because what you just shared, that changes everything. I mean,
Oh,
it's like it's the map. This is, you know, if light workers out there were wondering, you know, how we do it, this is the how. This is it. So
and
go for it.
Yes, exactly. Like just go to those four keys. Just go to
Mhm,
those four keys and you can look them up. You
mhm.
can look them. There's a brief little bit about them on the internet, but I do recommend the book, like you
Oh,
said,
yes,
Kathy.
yes.
But the humanity is the 36. And to me, this just brings me to tears because it's a love of humanity. When we can love our humanity and how in the most adverse times of conflict,
Mhm,
people still find time to laugh and create and sing and dance and write poetry and create art, and the wildflower always will emerge through the cracks. So it's like it can be easy in these times to be
mhm,
really angry at the humans,
mhm,
really angry at humans.
mhm,
But if we can bring that compassion into our humanity and
mhm.
then ripple it out, this is what will overflow and this is what will change the tides.
Yeah, yeah. And the planet now is supporting it. It's like she has moved to 5D. So
Yeah.
we have all the support we need. And now we have a map.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Oh, Kathleen, thank you. You've changed my world.
Oh, oh, vice versa, Kathy. This is why I love co-creating with you. It's always magic and joyful.
Mhm. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom with us. I can't wait to invite you again so you can share more, because this was brilliant. Thank you very, very much.